How insane is she gonna go today? Hey everyone, welcome to Princess K. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episode 2 of I'm in Love with the Villainess. The anime series with a misleading title because the character that our main character is in love with is not a villainess in any way. She is a rich school bully. That's pretty much it. She is in no way, shape, or form a villainess. It is a complete wrong use of that term. And I don't know if they're just using that term, if the creator of this or the original source material, whatever that might be, if it was just because of, exaggerating for comedic effect or whatnot. But it's like, I had a very different expectation going in. I kind of touched on it last time, but just as a reminder, it's like going in, I thought it was going to be like a villainous, like, some like sorcerer woman or something like that, like causing havoc for nearby towns and villages or something like that. I was thinking very, fantasy and everything, especially because I knew this was an isekai. I wasn't thinking like, oh, just a rich bitch at a fancy prep school. It's like I would never call that kind of person a villainous. A bully is honestly like the only word that sufficiently works. Maybe you can get away with calling her a delinquent, but never a villainess. It's such an exaggerated, pompous word to use for that kind of situation. It's just, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. And I know, maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just, my autism showing and me complaining over the usage of a word because of that. But it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me to use a word like that heavy for a fucking bully who isn't even that bad. Like, it makes a point in the first episode of pointing out that she's not actually that fucking bad. Like, she actually has her limits. Like, she'll poke fun at you and everything, but, like, she's not gonna do anything to hurt you. Because she's not a, like, terrible, evil person. That makes it even wilder that it's calling her, and that the main character is calling her a villainess, when it's like it makes a very concerted statement in the series, in the first episode, about her not being that bad. It's gotta be just exaggeration for comedic effect. But it's like, it's not really funny per se. It's more just like confusing. It gives the wrong impression of the series as well. And this isn't like a deal breaker for the series. I'm not saying like, oh, its name is like a misnomer, so I'm gonna drop this series. No, I'm just saying that is really misleading. Now, the actual first episode, it is an isekai, but it's like this comedy slice of life isekai, to where the fact that it's an isekai doesn't seem to matter. Because here's the thing, we have this girl who I think is presumed to be like an adult woman, like this neat, who's just kind of like young adult staying in her house all day playing these kinds of dating sims and whatnot. And then she's transported into this world, the world of this video game, this dating sim visual novel she likes. And she happens to have like this majorly crush on the bully character, who obviously has more to her than just being a bully. Like, I've played these kind of games and everything. I've seen other anime and shows and whatnot that have these kind of characters. That's literally the point of their character. They always have something more going on. So that's obviously the case of where this is going, but the problem here is, for me, is that it doesn't really acknowledge, outside of like when she's first teleported in, that it's an isekai. Because if you're going to make this an isekai, that kind of has to be a major point of the story. Otherwise, why not just have this be a transfer student? Someone who transferred into this school. If you're not going to touch on the fact that it's an isekai, it literally would change nothing about the story. It's like, oh, but then how would she know about this girl and Claire, I think her name is? How would she know about Claire and everything she is and everything she does and all? It's like, this girl is insanely rich, wealthy, and famous. They have made a point of that. How would she not know who she is and all this stuff about her? They could have easily made that work. But no, they decided to make it an isekai. Now, I'm not saying that the isekai shit won't come into play. I hope it does. It just, right now, it's kind of treating it like it doesn't really mean anything, that it is an isekai. And that's just really disappointing. Because it's like, if I'm going to watch an isekai, I want that to be a major focus. I want it to be like the kind of the point. It's like, oh shit, I'm trapped in this video game. Or, oh shit, I've been sent to another world after getting hit by Truck-kun. It's like, that's what you want from an isekai. And obviously, different methods for getting into the other world and everything. ReZero, he literally just blinks into the other world. Stuff like that. It's like the method of getting in isn't important as long as, it again, it's acknowledged and it's a major point of the story. But just so far, it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case here. With this being kind of this like comedy slice of life series, it seems more focused on, that than anything else. Now, it could surprise me. It could do some twists and turns here. It's only 12 episodes to my knowledge. I think it only has the one season, so it's going to be a concise set story unless there is a second season planned. But it's like, unless they really switch things up in a surprising way, I don't see this like really progressing it like to something special. Because right now, all I see from it is like, oh, we're going to get 12 episodes of this girl ridiculously fangirling over this other girl. They're either eventually going to fall in love or at least become best friends. And that's pretty much it. It's just going to be random shenanigans. It's not like, there's that one series, I can't remember the name of it right now. School Live? School Live, something like that. I'm going to get into slight spoilers for that series, so if you have not seen that series, School Live, it's been out since, I think, 2016, but just in case, maybe skip ahead a little bit. This is probably the last thing I'm going to talk about, too, before I go into the actual reaction and everything, so you could even maybe just go into the reaction after this. But just giving you warning. And if you don't really care, don't mind, that's fine too. Basically, I'm going to spoil the surprise of School Live. School Live, I don't know exactly. It goes by another name. Let me see if I can find the other name too real quick. But yeah, I'm basically going to spoil the big surprise of the series, so I just want to give you a little heads up. I say it goes by another name, but the other name is just the Japanese title. Let me see if I can find it here. I did find it right away, though. So yeah, I just don't know if it's pronounced live or live. Gakko Gurashi. Gakko Gurashi is the Japanese name. Let me see when the anime came out. 2015. I was close. I was close. Um, so yeah, if you have not seen Gakko Gurashi, aka School Live, and you don't want to be spoiled on it, probably just go to the reaction and then come back for the afterthoughts and all. But just as spoilers, we are going to begin in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so the spoilers for Gakko Gurashi, aka School Live. The first episode, as you're watching it, it seems like this normal slice of life comedy series. These young teenage girls at school and everything. Everything seems to be going fine. Everything seems to be pretty Gucci, pretty normal. But the end of the very first episode pulls the rug right out from under you and reveals, no, this is a fucking zombie series. And these girls are not in this normal high school life. The main character is fucking delusional and is imagining they're in a real life because she can't deal with the fact that they're in a fucking zombie apocalypse and they're stuck in the school because zombies are surrounding them. And the other girls are pretending for the main girl's sake that they're in a regular school situation, and even like making up this lie about them being in like this weird program where they're living in the school and all, just to try and make it seem normal so this girl doesn't, have a fucking mental breakdown. It's a series that very much pulls the rug out from under you in the best way. And as it progresses, it gets darker and more twisted and fucked up, while also balancing that with the kind of tropes and ideas and comedy of more, typical school slice of life stuff. It's a fantastic series that I would definitely suggest checking out if you haven't, and if you are watching this and haven't seen it already. It's really well done. But all of that being said, the point I was making is that is how you do a good twist, and I don't know if this series is going to pull off something like that. I don't know if I'm in Love with the Villainess is really the kind of show that's going to do that, because I feel like if it doesn't do it in the first episode or maybe the first couple, then they're going to really have it be a slow burn with you, like going through maybe even upwards of half of the season before it actually has that big reveal drop. And it's just like, that could be annoying, but we'll see how it goes. Let's see what this episode gives to us. We're gonna kind of play it by ear for now, see what happens. So yeah, let's get into episode 2 of I'm in Love with the Villainess. Let me cut in here real quick to remind you that we have a lot of awesome content on the channel. A plethora of series reactions every Monday through Friday, with 2 on Friday. We also have movie reactions every Saturday and Sunday, as well as a few Let's Plays on the channel. We alternate days between Horizon Forbidden West and Baldur's Gate 3, and Anno Mutationum is on Saturdays. Please go to the description below and follow the link to this video's reaction. It is redirected for copyright. And don't forget to like and subscribe for all future content on Princess of Gay. Thank you so much. See you all at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, I don't think this show is for me. Random Internet Stranger, you were the one who donated for this. I apologize, but this really doesn't seem like my kind of thing. Like, yeah, it's super gay, clearly. But I'm not finding it funny. I'm not finding it entertaining. I find the main character to be annoying, if I'm honest. Like, super cringy, super annoying, super, honestly, unlikable. Claire is honestly the more likable one, weirdly enough, even though she's supposed to be the quote-unquote villainess. And it's like, she's I feel bad for her having to deal with this bullshit. Ray is just I don't like her. None of the other characters besides Ray and Claire seem to have like much of anything to them. That might change as the series goes along, but it's like honestly none of them seem to matter to me. None of them seem to have any real character. They're just there as basically set dressing. They're there to work off of Ray and Claire, and that's it. Again, that might change as it goes along, but as of right now, they don't really have character to them, in my opinion. On top of that, I'm just not really into this story. Like I said, it's not really doing anything with the isekai aspect of things. It's like that's just being ignored. And the fact that Claire is like not even acknowledging that, I mean, she's kind of acknowledging that she's in the game, but she's treating it as a game instead of like acting like, oh, in the situation I'm in, this is a real fucking person. And it's like, this was an adult woman, by the way, who is this creepily obsessed with a teenage girl, which is already really fucked. And on top of that, it's just like she is so like fucking creepy about it. Like, oh my god. Like, it's not charming, it's not funny, it's honestly unsettling. Like, here, the funny thing is, it wasn't the bath scene alone that bothers me so much, even though it's like, yeah, showing teenage characters in a bath scene situation is something I very much do not agree with. Even though it wasn't like meant to be seen as super sexualized, like everything was covered, it wasn't meant to be fan service. It was more meant for the joke of Ray lusting over Claire. But it's like, that wasn't even funny. That was fucking creepy. Again, this is an adult woman lusting after a teenage girl. This aggressively. To where it's like showing her get nosebleeds and shit over over Claire's naked body in the bathhouse. It's like, what the fuck? Nothing about that is okay. Again, it's not even the bath scene, because that alone wasn't like super fan servicey. It's Ray. That's my main issue with this series right now. I don't like Ray at all. In fact, I kind of despise her. She is basically equivalent of a sex pest with the way she was oogling Claire there. Honestly, I'm surprised she didn't try anything like fucked up. Like when she was washing her hair, I'm really surprised she didn't try to touch her. She gives off those vibes, and that's not okay. If some people find this like funny or charming or whatever, I don't get it. It's like, you do you, but I don't get it. This is so aggressively uncomfortable to watch. And the problem is, Ray is our main character. It's not like we can just ignore it. Like, oh, she's just a random side character who's just like this. No, she is the main character. And this is also a bit of a problem with the fact that this is a queer series. It's like, oh, you make this queer series about a lesbian, possibly bi or gay, but most likely lesbian, I feel, main character who has interest in the secondary main female lead. And it's like, you're gonna make her fucking creepy and gross? It's like, that's kind of insulting. Honestly. It's like, it just feels, I don't like this series. It's gross to me. It's gross, it's upsetting, it's uncomfortable. And when I can't stand the main character, like I actively despise her, that's not a good sign. Unless your main character is supposed to be like the absolute worst of the worst, like Light Yagami in Death Note, you're not supposed to have those feelings about the main character. And that's very clearly not the intent here. You're supposed to find her funny or goofy or charming or whatnot. You're not supposed to like be disgusted by her. That is very clear, and it's failing miserably. Like, she even fucking blackmailed Claire's father. I don't know what the blackmail was exactly about. It was about some guy, I guess, some other guy that he knew, and a shit ton of money, it seemed. But she blackmailed him and forced his hand so that he would force Claire to accept her as a maid. Do you not see how fucked up this is? And I bet you fucking anything, it's never going to touch on that. I bet you anything that that Ray is never going to be shown to be the bad guy in all of this. It's ironic too. She refers to Claire, yeah, as the villainess and everything. She's the villainess here. Ray is absolutely the villainess. She is just so horrible. And that's what's really bothering me about this, and what's really like making it more and more clear that this is not for me. I know, I understand. It's like I only saw 2 episodes out of 12. It's like that's enough. It's like sometimes you just know when a series is like getting under your skin and is just clearly not for you. It doesn't always take like half of the fucking series or season to get that feeling, to get that vibe. Like, a lot of people say, oh, you need to see more before you can truly judge. It's like, no, I fucking don't. No, I don't. I can make a judgment call based on 2 episodes here. Like, listen, I love queer shit. I love queer relationships, and I love seeing them in media. I have an entire panel I've done at conventions about that. But this is not how you do that. This is a very bad example of queer representation in media. It's gross, it's upsetting, it's creepy as fuck, and it makes lesbians and just queer people in general look like, sex pests, basically. Stalker sex pests. Not to mention, there's also, again, the pedophilic side of things, with her being an adult woman lusting after 18. Aggressively lusting after her. Like, very, very aggressively. And it's so gross. Even without that, though, it would be super gross. Like, that's just, icing on the cake. I'm sorry, random internet stranger, but this is not for me, clearly. It's not something I can get into. It's not something that I can enjoy. I gave it a couple episodes. I even believe I said at the end of the episode 1 reaction, the redirect, the afterthoughts, I believe I even said then, I was like, I'll give it 1 or 2 more episodes, see how it goes. And that's what we did. So, that does mean we need to have a replacement, though. And we're just going to go to the wheel again. Because I've been enjoying doing the wheel. And it keeps it pretty fair, especially with donation rewards. I believe I said this last time, but especially for donation rewards, it keeps it fair so that different things will come up a little quicker. And I'm not just choosing something that I know I'm going to love and putting everything else back in the waiting list. So let's bring that up. I'm going to increase the size here for you guys. Give me a second here. So it's going to cover my face a bit. In fact, I'm just going to cover my face entirely. But I am still here, see? But let's go over what's on the list still. So, we have Symphogear GX for Calypso, How to Keep a Mummy for Isabella, Unicorn Warriors is a random donator, we don't know who it is, Dragon Prince Season 5 is for Smurf, and Then There Were None is for Random Internet Stranger, Cabin of Curiosity for Matthew Vasquez, Undead Unluck for Venom, Invincible Season 2 for an unknown donator, and Mo Dao Zushi for Dice. So those are our options. I have shuffled them, so they're in a different placement than they were last time. I put And Then There Were None as a replacement for you, Random Internet Stranger, so you still have an option on the wheel and everything. And I added one for Venom, because I don't think we had one for Venom on the last wheel, I noticed. So I added in Undead Unluck for continuing that, because I really enjoyed what I've seen so far. Like, really enjoyed. But, like I said, we are going to get to this. We are going to just randomize it and see what wins. So, let's see what happens. Sorry for any lag or whatnot on the video, but... Okay, what are we going to get? It looks like Dragon Prince Season 5. First Smurf Vlogs. So that is our next Thursday series. That will start next week. Let me just close this down now. There we go. I'll have to make another video just for that as well. Just to go over, you know, that is the winner and that's what we chose here. But yeah. I do apologize to you, Random Internet Stranger. It's like... It's clearly not my kind of show. It's just something that if I did continue watching, I would just be like either angry or upset or uncomfortable the entire time, and I wouldn't be. I would be just not having a good time in any way, shape, or form. Even if this series does end up taking some twists and turns, it's like it just feels like a series that's not really going to stray too far from its intention. It's going to mostly remain, you know, what it is, and going to mostly focus still on our main duo. And yeah, it's not something I want to have, like, in my mind, really. It wouldn't have a good effect on my mental health, if anything. It would just, like, leave me in a really, like, negative state. Because that kind of shit just upsets me. So, yeah. I don't like creepy people like that. It bothers me. That being said, like I said, if anyone does enjoy this, more power to you. You're entitled to enjoy whatever series you do. It's not for me. But, all of that being said... Hopefully, things go better with Dragon Prince Season 5. And it should. Because I do like the previous seasons as well. So, like I said, we'll get to that starting next Thursday. We'll see how that goes. For now, though, thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any thoughts you want to share on this second episode or on this series as a whole, go for it. Please share those thoughts down in the comments below. And for now, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.